Hey, it's Joshua Meeks with the PNW team at Keller Williams Realty, and you are watching the February PNW Monthly Market Update. Happy Valentine's Day. If you are a seller, you are likely in love with the way the market is looking this month. If you're a buyer, maybe not so much. As we're looking at some of the statistics over the Northwest Multiple Listing Service, keep in mind this is for the entire MLS, pretty much everything in Western Washington. So it might not reflect exactly what's happening in your community, in your city, in your county. And if you have questions about your specific area, reach out to us at thepnwteam.com or wherever else you might find us, and we can help you get more information on your specific area. It has been a crazy market, and if you're out here looking as a buyer, you have experienced that it has been a very competitive market. Very few listings available in the area. A lot of homes are getting 3, 4, 5, 10 offers or more in a lot of areas, and it's already encouraging early on in this year buyers agents to be risking their clients' interest when it comes to things like waiving inspections or information verification periods or seller disclosures. So wherever you're at in the market, whether you're a buyer, seller, real estate agent, just make sure that the tension of this seller's market is not causing you to make decisions that you're going to regret, that are risky. Within Keller Williams, we always talk about creating a win-win as part of what we call the Y4C2Ts, and it's very possible in even a seller's market to have a win-win situation where all parties know that they're being given full representation and that they're not taking risks that they shouldn't be making no matter what side you're on. So if you're in this market, just keep in mind that as we get started within this year, there is a lot of excitement, a lot of attention to the very limited homes that are available. And a lot of times the question has been right now, hey, if I wait another few months, is there going to be more homes available in the market? The answer is yes, there will be more homes available as we progress further throughout the year. And there's also going to be more buyers in the market competing. So for example, if you were to have, 5 buyers looking at 3 homes, now you have 50 buyers looking at 30 homes. So more options, definitely more of a broad scope when it comes to price, condition, location, and everything that's out there. But it's going to be likely competitive for the majority of this year. So keep that in mind. We've had a couple people that have even said, hey, I might consider kind of waiting it out, maybe until the market's less competitive. Just keep in mind, if you are making that decision, there's a very good probability that as you're waiting, the market is increasing in whatever you're currently approved for or qualify for. When the interest rates are at the low of a 3-year point and the market prices are what they are today, could be significantly different, meaning that you're qualifying for not as much of a home if you decide to wait. And for as brief of a 6-month period, a lot can change. So make sure you're staying in touch with a good trusted mortgage broker and a real estate agent that can guide you throughout that process. Also, really quickly on that, if you have been considering a refinance, this is probably one of the best times possible to reach out to a mortgage broker who can help you consider how much you might be saving and if it's worth refinancing at this time, especially if you're considering being in your home at least another 3 to 5 years. It could definitely save more money, lower your interest rate, and put you in a better position. Now, we did see the amount of homes going under contract increase this month as a lot of buyers are taking upon them to jump into the early spring in the Pacific Northwest and start their house hunt a little bit early in the year. The amount of homes under contract went from around 4,200 to around 5,400. That's about a 20% increase in the amount of homes going under contract this last month. That's likely going to continue to increase. Around this time last year, we had like 10,300 homes available, and compare that to the 6,800 homes that we currently see available on the market right now. It seems like there's a pattern throughout this year that we're only seeing about 60 to 70% of the amount of homes available compared to what we saw last year, which was already kind of a tight market, and we're seeing just as many or more homes continuing to go under contract. The average price per square foot in the Northwest Multiple Listing Service actually went down from about $266 to $253 price per square foot. Now keep in mind, a lot of these deals were ones that were going under contract around November to December that are now finally closing this last month in January when it wasn't as hot of a market, and now we're seeing that the average price is per square foot and the average list price versus sales price is definitely going up. Now we're looking at about 97% of list price to sale price for last month, but again, that takes into consideration everything that was going under contract November to December. What we're experiencing right now is that a lot of homes are actually selling for somewhere between 102, 103, up to 105% or more of what the house is listed at. Now, if you're a seller, if you're a buyer, just keep in mind, whatever you're throwing out for offers out there, that house still needs to appraise. And unless you're waiving that right to appraisal or agreeing to pay more than the house is going to appraise for, even if you're under contract for $500,000 on a house that was listed for $460,000, if that appraisal comes back at $470,000 to $480,000, now everybody's likely going to be renegotiating what that price is. So I know there's not much available in the market, and real estate agents are sometimes going to say, hey, let's just start high. There's nothing else available. We're seeing way more appraisals coming low than we've ever seen before over this last couple of years, because there is a limit or a capacity to what appraisers are able to justify for a seller getting for their house. Months of inventory for the last month actually went up from 1.2 to 1.6 months of inventory. We do see a lot of times from December to January through February, more homes on the market. And then as spring continues, we see more and more homes and more buyers competing for those same homes. It's also another consideration that while interest rates are lower, and that's great, right now that property taxes are estimated to go up. Some areas 10 to 15, some areas 25 to 30%. I think a lot of us have clients and friends in the area that have lived here for 30, 40, 50 years, and even if their mortgage is paid off, they're struggling to even keep up with the taxes in the area. Whether you agree with that or not, it is the reality for this next year that payments are going up, even if that payment is just your property taxes in areas like Sumner, Puyallup, University Place, Roy, Pacific, Bonnie Lake. These areas are seeing a much higher tax hike this year. Now, the percentage of taxes over the last couple of years hasn't been as bad. It's actually gone down in some areas, and now they're trying to recuperate some of that cost as well as some additional taxation going into place. So that being said, if you are a senior citizen, I believe it's something along the lines of at least 61 years or older, and you make less than $45,000 a year, you might be able to get an exemption on some or all of those taxes. So definitely check in with the county or the local governing authority on whether or not you can get an exception for that, because it may absolutely be unaffordable compared to what you've been living on. So takeaway is interest rates are lower than they have been in a few years. Take a look and see what that does with your mortgage broker on either your refinance or a purchase. Property taxes are going up significantly and probably will continue to for the next year or two. And inventory is very, very, very low. It's a competitive market, and be sure that you are not risking beyond what is reasonable or necessary to get an offer accepted. We want to make sure in this market that you are still taking precautions and protections for yourself and for your clients, whether you are a buyer or a seller. If you are a Keller Williams agent that is making it down to Family Reunion, I look forward to seeing you down there. And if you're asking the question, what is Family Reunion, and you are in the real estate market, feel free to reach out for more information on that, and we'll be happy to help you connect with one of the largest real estate events in the entire world that takes place every year, this year in Texas. So we'll likely be bringing back some notes from that Family Reunion convention in Texas, looking at what the real estate market is doing for our next monthly market update. And as always, feel free to reach out to us anytime, wherever you might find us.